we've missed you. It's been just a normal amount of time, though this week has dragged and it feels like forever. We are glad to be back. I have no announcements other than our Discord is open. You'll see the link pop into the chat. Our lovely community ambassador is here tonight, so make them happy by clicking that link, pop in the Discord, come hang out with us, watch movies, play games, do all the bonding things so we can grow together as a community and get to know one another. Other than that, I have no further announcements, so let's jump right into what you guys actually came here for. Let's meet our Cainites.
Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Jason Dorn, and I'm here to enjoy a good old fight with these damn camis that think they can come onto our turf.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Avery, the aforementioned community ambassador right here on the Rolling Nomads. Into this evening, I will be playing the Slick Serpent Erebus Kai.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to see you all again. Warren here, playing Victor BELLSHANE. Let's get started.
Let's get started, indeed. We will go ahead and jump right into tonight's episode of Book of Saints. We begin each episode, as we always do, with a recap. Erebus, I believe you volunteered, if you would kindly.
Surely did. Yeah, so last episode, the Saints returned to their haven after hunting, and discovered that the thin blood from the backyard had been dug up and taken away. There's a bit of panic to make a quick move, that the place had been compromised. However, Erebus seemingly teleported into the home to say that he found the person who dug up the thin blood, and unfortunately, due to not being a great combatant, had to dispatch them both. But they did say something about working for Fernando Villarreal. During that conversation with Victor, Erebus managed to spy Derek's computer, and there was some quick cyber sleuthing to put together that Derek was being catfished by someone working from within the Camarilla. So, in an effort to strike while the iron was hot, the Saints sent Derek on a mission to go grab something from a bar and then reroute him to the cemetery. And at that cemetery, while Victor was taking care of some hunger-related complications, Jason and Erebus set up for an ambush, and where we left off was with Victor showing up and us hiding the vehicles. A very old rite from nearly the dawn of Sabbat culture was enacted, what is called a blood compact. The sharing of blood between a probationary member of a sect or pact, in hopes to strengthen the allegiance through the actions of battle. And that is where we left off, having Victor tasting Erebus's blood.
Indeed. And to clarify mechanically, first of all, thank you, Erebus. I appreciate the recap. Victor, to clarify mechanically, for all of our sakes, do you have any bond-related merits or flaws?
Negative.
Understood. And of course, you are under the effects of the Valdery, so you feel no unnatural pull to Erebus. I'll say for a brief moment you feel more inclined. Perhaps it's the blood compact itself, this ancient rite that makes you feel just a bit closer, but nothing compels you to argue in their interest. Nothing compels you to fight for them. Nothing compels you to be friendlier. And Erebus, for everyone's sake, mechanically speaking, of course, as in narrative speech, Jason and Victor wouldn't know this, but for our lovely viewers, do you have any merits or flaws related to the bond?
4 points, unbondable.
Erebus, much like Victor, but only of your own volition, no Valdery needed. You feel nothing. You feel no unnatural pull. You feel no inclination. You feel as you've always felt toward Victor BELLSHANE, however that may be. The blood is exchanged. The scene is yours.
I believe we put our timeline together, and we believe we have roughly 20 minutes before they get here. I believe that's what we discussed at the end of the last session.
Indeed. With Jason's summoning and such. I want to briefly check in with you, Jason. Were you
All right.
raising your hand, or was that a stretch?
Oh, that was a stretch.
Okay. You have your spirits. You've drank, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I did drink a good old Victor.
In essence of candle and old wax. I would like to know your innermost thoughts on what has occurred here so far. Victor has drank from Erebus. Erebus has drank from Victor. This is an ancient rite. You've heard it described by Erebus. Victor seemed to be, I won't say reluctant, but perhaps that is a good word for it. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts specifically dealing between the exchange between the two of them.
Mhm.
Well, if you're looking at my thoughts, I would say I don't think anything bad of it. Of course, I don't know too much about the rights, but if this is part of the rights, it makes sense. An exchange of bonds, exchange of blood, makes sense.
Is there any part of you that feels inclined to request this rite? Do you feel left out in any way?
No, my character, I mostly view it as a case of Victor is our leader, most cases in my eyes. So if he exchanges it, the leader exchanged it, it's fine.
Understood. Scene is yours, gentlemen. You have about 20 minutes, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, as you said, the orders that were given to Derek were to arrive here.
He was going to drop his car here and then take the car that Jason and I took here home.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
And
What
then
did you say?
the only other thing that Erebus needs to do to finish setting up is make himself
Double.
unseen and make the illusory double. So that's 2 rouse checks. 1 success, 1 failure.
Bringing you to what level of hunger, Erebus?
3.
We, as an audience, have been graced with Erebus's beast. I'll do something I haven't done ever in my history of V5. Erebus, what does your beast sound like? And what do you think it might whisper to you as it crawls up your spine and whispers in your ear?
I think that feeling of it slithering up his spine now has the audible sound of scale against bone, that light rasp. He feels the tickle of a forked tongue beneath his ear. And the voice of his sire, Esther Prim, peeks in his ear. You fucking left me to die. Harry, you just left me. You saw that the church was burning and you just left. You're no warrior. You're no god. You're no ancient. Just a really good
What is your reply, Erebus, as you hear these words? Do you have any retort?
In the voice that he hears when he thinks on the inside. You're right, Esty. I'm nothing special. But I'm a better snake than you ever were. You can go fuck yourself.
A moment of honesty. The scene is yours, gentlemen. Erebus, you activate your abilities. You may make yourself unseen.
I definitely want the face of this illusory double of Derek to be like able to be seen from a ways away. But I kind of got to, because it's night. It's decently late in the night, and I believe it's the summer, right? So like it's pretty chilly out, and he's not fully, a vampire yet. So kind of in like he would have grabbed like a slightly bulkier coat from the car before getting out here, with a flashlight in his hand, and I'm gonna, for as much of the 20 minutes as I can, have him like going around checking like headstones before right around at the 20-minute mark. Have him within about 3 feet of the mausoleum that good Jason rigged up, and then I'll have him go inside at around the 21-minute mark.
Please.
With this being Fata Morgana, it is accompanied by sound, and the light from the flashlight looks real as it plays over everything. It's as convincing as something fake can be.
Victor, Jason, you all see this. Is there anything that you guys prepare these last 20 minutes?
So Victor will hide not too close, not too far, in probably the shadow of a crypt or a mausoleum or something, using his shadow cloak and silence of death.
Do either of those require rouse checks, Victor?
Negative, but I might, if you are so inclined for me to do it now, the stealth roll.
Please.
I'm going to try to rouse the blood. Success. 5 successes.
5 successes. Hold on to that number, write it down somewhere. You might need it. Jason, is there anything that you're up to in preparation?
Actually, yes, there's one last thing I want to do. You said we have 20 minutes left, which means there is one ceremony worth of time for me. Last I remember, I do have a new ceremony, one that I've used recently, but didn't get much use out of. I want to host another one of my wraiths.
You've compelled them all to tasks.
That's true.
Were there any kept to stick by your side?
Yes, there is at least one kept on my side, yes.
May host, you so choose. How long does the ritual take? Or rather, what dot level is it?
3 dots. It'll take 15 minutes.
We'll have 5 minutes to spare, Jason.
Enough for me to be still hidden outside the graveyard. If that's all good.
No argument from me. Would you kindly detail host spirit?
I will be opening my body to possession by a ghost of some kind. The benefits of having it with me allows me of an enhanced physique and access to whatever memories the wraith chooses to share, with their voice offering advice or insults. The wraith can take possession of me if they wish to, which could be a blessing or a curse, and allows the Wraith to control one's actions for the night in an effective way. What this does mechanically wise is it's going to be making me physically about 2 dots stronger in all of my physicals, and a little bit healthier as well.
Excellent, Jason. I just have one question for you. So I'll allow you to do this. We'll say that by the stroke of fate you have the parasitic bug. As we've seen you do this before, you will need 1 to extract 2 of your own teeth, and then 2
Yes.
to offer a gift to this wraith. What are you going to offer as gift?
A little bit of alcohol in the trunk of my car, if it didn't get driven away yet, which was more for an improvised Molotovs if needed, but can also work as a suitable gift.
I'll allow it. I want you to make your ceremony roll. It's resolve plus your oblivion.
Of course, and I believe I need to give you a rouse check as well, do I not? Ah, would you look at that? So, there is a success, but it is also a stain. That is a 10. So,
Excellent.
we are going for the stains today. And with that, I will give you the roll.
Resolve plus oblivion. Your difficulty is the ceremony plus 1. Ceremony's level plus 1, I should say. So your difficulty level should be 4.
Which is exactly what I end up rolling. So,
Perfect.
4 it is.
So you feel this, Jason. You feel it enter you. Wraith's skin rides you. It feels strange. It's just beneath your skin for a moment, then seeps into your bones, takes your mind, takes your heart. For a brief second, you can almost feel your heart give a few beats as it takes you. You are not just you now. There is risk to this. The Wraith could choose to assert its own possession, rather than acting as passenger. You know these risks. Complete this ritual. At this point, the end of your ritual, I want you to make a stealth roll as you get into position. Dexterity and stealth, please.
That is 7 successes.
Seven successes. Quick, Jason. You get into position. Victor, you've been waiting, Erebus. You a little longer so. There is movement in this dead place. Down the road you hear vehicles. 2, maybe 3. Sound like older cars. After a few minutes, these vehicles pull in, they kill their lights as they continue to drive slowly. Strategically, they position themselves. One behind the vehicle that perhaps the illusionary Derek has parked. The other at its left side. The other at the front. Out steps a number of individuals. I would like you all to make me a wits and awareness roll.
Who?
Excellent. Jason, you are the only one here who recognizes and notices these facts. There are 4 individuals, one driving each of the vehicles, and the other, this extra that parked at the front of the vehicle that you had parked, steps out of the back seat, of this, the individual the car that carried 2, Jason, you notice that the solo passengered vehicles, those 2 step out. Subtle things, small things. Breathing, blinking, small notices of human or ghoul. The other 2, however, they don't bother to blink. They don't bother to bring life into their face. They don't flush with the evening's air. They don't breathe. 2 are kindred. You would also recognize, rather, all of you would recognize the individual that stepped out of the back seat of the first vehicle leading the charge. It's the Toreador Primogen Brett Dominguez. Darker skinned, long brown hair. He is lovely. Well groomed. Threaded eyebrows and finely tended to features. Wears a loose suit. A little too big for him, but it's the style of, I believe, the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, where the shoulders and was a little bit bigger. And look around. He gives a command to these other 3. It's a soft voice. Gentle. Caring, almost. Find him, and they begin to scatter. To comb the area. He himself leans up against the driver's side door of your car. Pulls out a cigarette out of a metal case. And flicks a very old-fashioned lighter that still has looks like a flint and a little bit of burning rope. Not a Zippo by any means, but it's got a little sort of thumb switch on the side. He begins to light a cigarette and smoke.
With the Fata Morgana, I'm gonna have like a flash of light come out of the mouth of the mausoleum. Almost like, and accompanied with the sound of Derek having dropped the flashlight and it rolled around. And then very softly, only somebody with Auspex could hear from where they are. Just Derek's voice. Fuck. And then the click of the flashlight as the light disappears.
Understood. As you intend for this to be heard, at least subtly, I'm going to make a roll for, they will see the flash of light. I'm going to make a roll for it's inconsequential, but I'm going to make a roll for the auditory, for them to notice that. You see, the 3 of them look toward the mausoleum, then look back toward Mr. Dominguez, and he nods, points, and kind of shoos them off in that direction. Continues to smoke and watch the scene as they step over to the mausoleum. They don't draw weapons. They don't seem to have any on them, at least not that you can see. They move to the sides of the doors as if ready to breach. And then quickly, they rush in.
I would like to make a rouse check for feral weapons.
By all means.
Another failure. We're at 4 hunger.
And I would love to just look over at my fellows, raise up 3 fingers, 3, holding up the detonator in the other hand, and start counting down from 3. 3.
With Unseen Passage and Silence of Death, I'm making my way over to where Brett is in an effort to get a jump on him.
And for me, as soon as that bomb goes off, I'm going to use Shadow Step to teleport into the shadow of the car.
Shadow of the car. So you have, for clarification for you, Victor, a lot to choose from. It's night. There is a little bit of light here. There's a light from the lit cigarette. Where exactly around the car would you like to be?
Well, the plan is so if car's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's leaned up against the car here. I'm gonna go right here. And just like
Just right
come
next to
out.
him.
Yeah.
Excellent. More accurate, his shadow, but I like it. So, a multitude of things happen at once. Victor, you teleport using Shadow Step. I believe that is a rouse check.
Yes, it is. And it's a failure.
Your hunger rises, bringing you to 2, I believe.
3.
3. The voice of your sire, Victor, whispers in your ear. This is not the way it's to be done. Skulking in the shadows, we waged war in my day. Open, proud, sword of Caine held high. Here you go skulking about. At least drain him.
And how'd that work out for you?
Just so. As you teleport, this is the voice you hear, Victor. Jason, you release the spirits, correct? You command, you give them free will to act as they choose.
Yes, sir. And I set up that little good old bomby bombs.
And then Erebus, you are activating feral weapons. Is there any movement on your part? Or is there you were hoping to get to Dominguez?
Yep, I was gonna jump him from unseen passage and silence of death with foot-long viper fangs coming out of my mouth.
Excellent. Again, multiple things happen at once. A few things I can describe to you very clearly and easily. The mausoleum is immediately lit up with sounds. There are screaming, shouts, commands by what appears to be Dominguez's second. A gruff voice, sounds like he was a smoker in his past life, that sounds rough, gravelly. As he says, retreat, hold the line, do not falter. As they try to scramble, and you can hear stonework, rocks, stones, wooden bits of a bench that are shattered against a wall, vases that were thrown, glass just careening. It is chaos within the mausoleum. Nothing that you see. However, they seem to be keeping these 3 relatively taken care of, relatively occupied. Erebus and Victor, I want you to roll me, because this is a really a surprise attack. Well, I'll tell you what. You tell me what you want to do. He's going to have a subtraction to his dice, and he's going to attempt to act in a sort of defense. But because this is a surprise, he's going to have some subtraction to his dice.
So, as soon as I come out the shadows, I want to judo hip throw him to the ground. Just coming out on that side, grabbing the arm, and one arm goes over his shoulder. Next thing he knows, he's going towards the ground.
Your choice of strength or dexterity and brawl. Erebus, anything from you?
Yeah, whether he ends up on his feet or on his ass, I'm jumping at him and biting into the closest artery I can get my fangs into.
Understood. He rouses the blood. He gets hungrier.
I will do the same.
Will both of my specialties come into play here, or can you only do one specialty at a time?
What is your specialty?
One for sporting combat jiu-jitsu and the other one for kindred fighting.
I'm gonna say the one. I don't know at the top of my head, but I'm not gonna. Lord knows where that will be in the book, and I'm not going to spend the 30 minutes it will take me to peruse. But I will get you an answer. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Okay.
So I just had a first. What happens if you roll a bestial failure on a rouse check that would lead you to 5 hunger?
Nothing. So bestial failures don't exist on rouse checks. It's just a success or a failure. However, you are now at 5 hunger.
Yeah, hunger frenzy time, and I'm gonna ride it. I'm not gonna try and fight it.
So the good news for you is that you don't immediately just fall to frenzy. There are other STs that do that, but rules as written, you are just dangerously close. The next time you fail a rouse check, that is when you will immediately fall to frenzy. I will now essentially make your life harder until you feed next. Right off the top, you are feeling hungry, or the voice is now not screaming, but it's louder, and it's just little mistakes here and there, pointing out all the inaccuracies in what you're up to, Erebus. It's trying to make you doubt yourself. One of the most prominent insults it throws is that a better snake would have struck first.
A better snake wouldn't be ashes under Santa Monica.
We all shed our skin, child.
You shed your whole damn body, Esty.
So you are at hunger 5. Victor, what is the result of your roll?
6 successes with a messy crit.
6 successes with a messy crit. What is your current hunger level?
3.
Please raise it by 1. You will suffer the wounds of Christ himself as you undergo the stigmata. Your hands, your feet, the crown of your head begins to bleed. Erebus, I will not ask for a rouse check. You've already tasted his blood, and I'm not going to push you into frenzy. Not like this. But I'm going to ask you a willpower roll.
Can do. 3 successes.
3 successes. There is a brief moment, Erebus, where everything becomes too clear. It's that moment of clarity when you stand up too quickly and then suddenly your senses rush back after you've gotten over the dizziness. Everything's in HD. Everything feels pinpricked in detail. And the scent of Victor's blood is enthralling. You've tasted this. And there's that moment of striking first. His eyes are fixed on somebody else. He's focused on an entirely different task. You could do it now. You could drink him dry, and you quickly push this feeling down, but it's still at the back of your head. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions are your own, Erebus, for now.
Erebus is gonna jump on him. Not Victor, on to Brett.
Good
I
clarification.
thought I'd make that clear. Yeah.
Brett, he drops the cigarette, drops the lighter he was kind of keeping in his hand as he is whirled onto the ground. Victor, Erebus, you dive onto him. He is, for the time being, apprehended. Jason, your spirits are making a ruckus in the mausoleum. Is there anything that physically that you're up to?
Pulling the detonator if I haven't already, and heading into the heading to get close to make sure to deal with any that managed to get out of the mausoleum. I think my 2 allies got the big guy.
Understood. We'll enter into turn 2, essentially. Erebus, Victor, you have him. You have Mr. Dominguez at your disposal. Jason, you are ready at the detonator. Some tentative rolls on the part of his spirits, the 2 ghouls and the kindred, in the mausoleum. It's a difficult situation. But what are you all up to? What would you like to do? What are your intentions?
My intention is to torpor Brett as quick as possible.
How would you like to do this?
Biting the fuck out of him.
Give me a bite attack. Victor, what are your intentions?
So, Here's my question: would I see Erebus going for the bite?
I would say it's pretty clear. A bite attack is it's pretty not forecasted or broadcasted, but it's with how close up close and personal you are, probably you would hear the flick of fangs and the movement back to strike.
I am pretty hungry, so I like the idea of torporing him with bites as well. So I'm gonna bite him with brutal feed. Not to kill.
Go ahead and give me a bite attack.
Gonna have to give me a minute.
Believe
As
Erebus.
a note, I am feral weapons, so the damage will be increased by 2,
Excellent.
and bypasses armor. I think 2 levels of armor if he has it.
He definitely doesn't. Feral weapons, superficial damage still? Or is that a different...
Yep,
Oh,
still
chance of
superficial.
aggravated. Perfect.
I did rouse my blood, so at 4 blood potency, that's an extra 3 dice. 8 successes with a messy crit.
Victor?
I'm gonna rouse the blood. Success. 6 successes.
6 successes. Again, multiple things happen at once. You both begin to bite down. You drink. You may drink. There is no defensive roll made against this. There is a flash of what you can see. I'm not going to have you guys roll with the roll defense in this regard, as you didn't roll defense against your attacks. However, with what you've already done, there is no success on his part. You look at him as you have him pinned, and right before you begin to drink, you see a flash. This beautiful man. What are you doing? How could you hurt someone this lovely? It's a brief moment where you take pause. You can't do this. This is too cruel. He's...
I do have unswayable mind for fortitude.
Erebus, you don't feel this at all then.
Heard.
Victor, this is more for your benefit. He's not a combatant. He's just a man. He's just too delicate of a flower to wound. This is a brief passing thought, as you can quickly reassert yourselves and bite deep. Erebus, the result of your messy critical is that you will fall under your clan compulsion. You will receive a 2 dice penalty to all dice pools not relating to enticing someone, including yourself, if you so choose, to break a chronicle tenet or personal conviction, causing at least 1 stain and ending this compulsion. But you both drink deep. You both bite down this individual. Victor with 6 successes. Erebus with 8. This, I need to math real quick. Where's my pen?
I will also say, since I have the book open to it, and I didn't know this about Brutal Feed, when Brutal Feed is used in combat, every hunger slaked by Victor in this moment is a level of aggravated damage that's dealt.
Say less. Okay. This is going to be very interesting.
I didn't know that about I didn't know that about Brutal Feed, and that makes it fucking terrifying.
That's why I took it.
A pretty
does say-
clear...
The victim first takes the bite damage, then the damage from this power. Armor does not protect against Brutal Feed.
In moments, in seconds even, you both, if you choose, may drink. I'll ask you how many points you're taking.
2.
How many
me do
can we
this.
take without killing him?
Well. You'd like to take 2 Erebus? Victor?
What was the answer to my question?
Can't be answering that for you right now.
Oh, come on. Yeah, sure. We'll do 2. He's a pretty boy, so I don't expect him to have
2 hunger
much.
each. Both of you are significantly high in hunger. Erebus, you are at 5. Victor, you're at 4. I would like you both to make me willpower rolls. Roll your unspent willpower.
My -2 dice penalty still apply to this one?
That's your clan compulsion. It absolutely is.
2
2
successes.
successes?
Both of you 2 successes?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for the 2 of you, this takes you. Beauty of this man, the failed activation of a presence ability, the clan compulsion, the scent of blood, both Brett Dominguez's and Victor BELLSHANE's. Erebus, you are going to drink. You want to feed. Victor, in the same regard, this is a lot of action. This is more than you've had in a long time. And finally, you have a partner who might be able to keep up with you. It's a moment of bliss, and you're both going to try to drain him dry. Whether or not that actually happens depends entirely, unfortunately, on you, Jason. We have Erebus and Victor's intent, as well as Mr. Dominguez. Jason, what is your intent? You are not a melee combatant here. This is why you go last. Your spirits are doing work in the mausoleum. You can see Victor and Erebus feeding and drinking deeply, particularly Victor, just sloppy with it.
That.
Just
It's
to be clear, is there any like sign of that we're not meaning to kill this person to him, or does he just see us fucking murking this
yeah,
dude?
like I would assume we would have captured him, but at the same time, like
Well, I'm gonna be a little bit of a shit on this. There was no discussion of like we should take it captive. You guys came out here with explosives and a plan to make a statement. I'll say this: they're being real aggressive about it. Whether or not you are of sound mind and body, and if you want to be like, hey, we should probably keep him as a captive, that's entirely in your realm.
I actually have a question, and this goes towards: would the Valkyrie allow me to know the original intent of Victor?
As we've regularly stated, the Valkyrie is not a Wi-Fi signal or a Bluetooth device that kind of gives you guys update information. I'll say, again, you're of sound mind and body. You've
Yeah, sure.
taken captives before. If you feel the need to try to stop them, you absolutely may try.
But do you want to get in the middle of this?
That's a real question that I'm worried about taking, but you know what? Oh yeah. Let's try to separate the 2 guys with maybe both have potence. Yeah, I'm sticking my hand between 2 dogs right now that are gonna bite my hand. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm gonna try to stop them because may
How
as
do you do
well.
this?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How do you do this?
Just how? Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to force them off them. Just grab and pull.
Strength and brawl, please.
Like, and we're trying to take them alive. Come on. Come on. Jesus. I'm really trying to pull both of you off. This is
Since we
Erebus,
have
Victor, I won't be allowing a defense roll as you've already taken your actions and are in the middle of something. But there is a sort of set DC into this to get both of you. Go ahead, Victor, you had something?
I was gonna ask if we have to make a contested roll because of our failed willpower.
No, the one of the downsides in VtM V5 combat is that you either make an attack or make a defense or split your dice pool.
You know, actually, I have a question. You said to use strength of brawl, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I currently have 2 different unarmed skills. Well, I have one that is specifically for kindred, and the other one is for grappling. So if either specialty would go towards this.
Whichever you'd like. Add an extra dice to your pool. You may
Alright,
also
awesome.
feel free to rouse your blood.
You know what? Yeah, go for the biscuit. Yeah, sure.
Let's make a rouse check for me, please.
And that's going to be a failure on that one. But hey,
What does
put
that
them
bring
all.
your hunger to?
4.
Continue.
Okay. So I have a lot of dice I'm rolling. So with 8 successes.
8 successes. You fail your rouse check and you can hear the voice of your sire telling you, messy fucking family you've chosen, Jason. This wouldn't happen with La Familia. This wouldn't happen with the Peace of Knobs or the Duncerns. None of the Clan Death would treat you like this, and they wouldn't be fighting for our attention. Come home, boy. This isn't you. With 8 successes, you managed to retch Erebus and Victor off of Brett Dominguez. Victor a bit more difficult. He tears as he is pulled away. Brett is in torpor. Erebus, Victor, Jason has pulled you off. Anything you say, Jason?
All right. Listen, that's the big guy. We have some other bodies inside. We can get. They're all in the mausoleum. We can keep this one. Surely he knows more than the rest. Good luck, both of you. I pat both of you on the shoulders. Just enjoy the meal over in there.
Erebus, Victor, with Jason pulling you off, Erebus, you will have taken 3 points in the midst of your feeding. Victor, you will have taken also 3 points in the midst of your feeding because you had Brutal Feed active.
I think Erebus is just gonna reach out and put a hand on Jason's cheek, just smearing blood across his face, kindred blood. Just say, they treat us like we're animals, so let's slaughter them like animals.
Jason, give me a roll for your unspent willpower.
All right. There was a slight worry about that, but I'll keep that. 3 successes.
This is kindred blood, Voidor blood, enticing smeared across your face. You can't help but sort of brush the side. Have a small taste. Delicious. Smells, tastes of champagne and expensive cigarettes. But your actions remain your own. Continue, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. As we're pulled away, are we us again? We regained our composure.
With the help of your companion, you have your composure back. It's not exactly like a switch off, but you still desire the precious vitae that is not spilling necessarily, but seeping out on the ground. A waste, really.
And while Erebus is like rubbing his face, Victor's just gonna yeah, we were taking him alive. Yeah. Oh.
Erebus will toss the police issue handcuffs out of his inner jacket pocket to Victor. Perhaps we should put him in the trunk.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea before this gets any worse. I'll start
With
securing him as best I can with everything that's around.
with the storyteller's permission, I would like to make a quick roll against Jason.
By all means, what would you like to do?
Oh,
A roll of manipulation and subterfuge with a specialty in seduction, as he just kind of like trails the back of his hand down Jason's neck. Come with me, boy, and I will show you what it is to sup at the altar of a god.
Make that roll, Erebus. Jason. A contested roll. I'd like you to roll your composure. Okay, we're gonna go unspent willpower again. Composure and resolve, please.
first one resolve. Okay. I have a question about a power then.
What's that?
Does Unswayable Mind only include powers? Or
I
is
believe
it?
it does.
Okay.
This
Then
is
it's
completely
just
natural.
This is very natural.
I'm
We're
going
gonna
to
see what happens.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower to re-roll 4 dice.
Oh my gosh.
Or
I believe
3
it's-
dice, rather.
Yeah, 3 dice.
Got me one more. I'll take it. 11 successes.
What you got for me,
Wow. I had 4 successes, so
Jason? Erebus, you want him to come with you. Jason, this sounds completely reasonable.
this sounds very reasonable. This man who only tells the truth, yeah, absolutely, this is reasonable.
It makes sense. Victor's putting Brett Dominguez in the trunk. Jason, Erebus sounds reasonable. You should go with him. Victor's got him under control, and you're in no state to be around such fresh vitae. Erebus can help you. Erebus can lead you. Erebus can protect you from yourself.
Have you set off the explosives in the mausoleum yet, Jason?
I did, yes.
Let's clean up the mess that remains.
Of course, yeah, let's do that, yeah.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Whatever instincts you have to treat them as whatever shadow of what they once were, banish it from your mind. We are here in service to death.
Once again, Jason, completely reasonable. You are of the clan of death. Everything you do serves the Reaper.
Sounds convincing enough. Clean
And
house?
Erebus will make a rouse check to reactivate Unseen Passage, as Silence of Death and Feral Weapons remain for the scene. That is a success on a rouse check.
Excellent.
And Erebus is going to just watch until Jason's in trouble.
Understood. Victor, you have placed the now torpored Brett Dominguez in the back of the car. Jason, what are you up to?
I'm gonna go clean up house. Deal with anything that's left inside. Everything that's left inside. 4 went in. Let's make sure about 0 come out. That sounds good.
Understood. Your intention is to head down to the club or to the mausoleum.
Yes, to the mausoleum. Head inside and deal with anything that is still kicking despite my wraiths and explosives.
Explosives were effective. in the midst of the chaos that happens with Erebus and Victor, the explosives went off. Fire, of course, being a very particular danger for Cainites. Kindred is nowhere to be seen. The two ghouls, however, remain. One of them is in a terrible way. The other is just barely conscious and trying to pull him out and get him to a safer distance from the now collapsed, now destroyed mausoleum, the bit of flame that lick underneath the stonework. The spirits have not absconded, but there's not really much else for them to do here. They could kill him. You commanded.
It appears that the kindred went deeper in before it collapsed, or
Give me a wits and investigation. Victor, you see him assessing the situation. You may join if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll gladly join. Can I use
Mm-hmm.
Can I use Eyes of the Beast just to help my eyesight since it is relatively dark out here?
By all means. Jason, you have no idea where he might be. With 2 successes, it's a mystery to you.
Allison might.
What isn't a mystery to you is the ghoul looking to you, cursing you, and simultaneously begging for his life. It's a bit of a conundrum. He doesn't really know whether to beg or to swear and threaten.
I want to. He looks like he's armed, correct?
No, none of them seem to have any weapons on them.
Oh.
3 successes, Victor. Also, difficult to say. No telling where he went.
I walk forward, and with the words of the serpent within my ear, I want to expunge this man's life. Specifically, I want to shoot him in the leg so he can't run, and then eat him.
Let's call this composure firearms. Good kindly. Victor, you watch this happen. Erebus, as do you. You may intervene and do as you wish. Simply let me know your intentions.
I just sent you a DM, Gilberto.
I will.
That is a good 6.
Remember that we, while the monsters in the dark, are the honorable ones. Both of them were alive, correct?
Yes, one of them is a much worse way than the other. That's again, he's unconscious. He's not dead. Erebus, regarding your message, check to see if this action breaks your obfuscation.
It does.
Understood. Kindly describe what your companions see, if you'd so choose.
That sort of mirage effect that happens when Erebus takes on obfuscation pulls him out of it as he is leaned over the more wounded ghoul. And he just strokes the side of his face. He says, "Et umbra resquiat." And he will drain him. As soon as the blood has left his body, Erebus will bite into his own wrist and hold it over his mouth.
It's a longer task to drain somebody. Erebus, you drink deep. Victor, you see this. Jason, you see this. He's feeding. The other individual, the other is not letting this go by unpunished. He is at your back, Erebus, sort of hitting you. It's not painful. It's a Pathetic attempt, really. Whatever he's fed from, whoever he's fed from, does not have any gift of potence or anything that will boost his strength, really. He's just trying to fight you off what is likely a companion.
I guess I'm going to continue my original, unless Victor is stopping me.
Apologies. Let me alter that. Jason, what was the result of your firearms roll?
6 successes.
This dude has so much bigger problems than to deal with than Erebus feeding from his friend. He's been shot. You kneecap him, essentially. Both knees. He's unable to run.
Oh, great.
I wasn't necessarily stopping you, just advising you not to play with your food. It's fine to kill, not to torture for the fun of torturing.
No, I'll never torture. Well, okay, I take that back. Never torture without reason.
So, Victor,
And
you don't stop. You don't stop Jason.
I don't stop him from shooting him, or are you asking for clarification?
You don't stop him, but is there anything that... What are your intentions? I hope Jason is going to kill this man, from what the last intentions stated were. Erebus is going to kill the other.
I was going to ask one of them where their bosses went.
They
But I
certainly
don't
do
think
so.
I have time to do that since they're already in the process of murking them.
Well, 2 gunshots and then Jason can lean down. You have a brief few moments, Jason, if you want to hesitate.
I'm still walking up to him. I had to fire for a distance after all.
Back to your
So
question.
then, yeah. I'm going to activate awe. And with intimidation, obviously, I'm just going to lean right over him. Where did they go?
Is this awe or daunt?
Oh, that's right. This is only... That's only charisma. It does nothing, so I'm not even going to activate that. My bad.
He's bleeding. He's struggling. There's no roll necessary. Looks to you and says, well, he doesn't say anything, really. He's just trying to contain himself. He's looking around, looking for the answer to your question that he himself likely has realized he needs to ask. Where is his boss? Not present. Looks up to you as he clutches the wounds and screams out through the pain and says, "The fuck did you do to Brent?"
It doesn't matter. That's not what I'm asking. The other 2 that were with you. The 2 that were better.
Go fuck yourself, cultist.
You think yours isn't some kind of cult? Pity you. And I'm gonna walk away while looking for more clues.
Wits and awareness. Jason, what is your intention?
I'm going to now eat the man. And as I lean down, I want to say something else. As I am from a bit of a Sicilian family, I want to say something else. And that would be amigos hasta la muerte. Friends till death. And then I want to drain him as his friend is being drained.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to roll me resolve and composure as his eyes flash towards you.
Willpower once more. That's all. What's this? Oh, and this is a power, it sounds like. And that is 7 successes, with one of those being from my hunger die, as this is a possible messy crit.
You hear him mutter, or rather begin to mutter in Spanish as he looks at you. You feel a flash of hesitation. And as he curses you, Chinga tu madre pende. Silence as you compose yourself very quickly. You may drain him.
Oh, this is definitely the most painful bite of his life.
It is a scream. It pierces the eardrums of all around. Erebus, you have drained this man. You may drink your fill. You may bring your hunger down to 0. Jason, you are just beginning.
I do have to ask.
Mhm.
If your interpretation of this would be breaking one of my own tenets. Might that tenet being do only what you say you will do. This was not a part of the plan. Neither was the thing with Brett, but that happened before this. I will put that ball in your court because I'm not sure.
Do only what you say you will do. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't say that this breaks this tenet. However, given the extreme nature of this action, what you're about to do, I'll say yes. This is a far cry from what was set out to be done. Victor, you turn your back, you begin to look for clues. Jason, you begin to drink deep. Erebus, you feed this dead man your Vitae. The last spark of life is about to drift out of his mouth as your Vitae passes his lips.
I'll leave him there for a moment before I get back to that, and I'll cross the room to Jason. Bring him back when you're done with him. Wars need soldiers to fight them, Mr. Dorn. And then we'll go to assist Victor in this endeavor of looking for clues.
Understood. Very quickly, Erebus, make me a rouse check. You did feed someone your Vitae, intending to raise them.
That is a success.
You remain at 0. Your beast is quiet. Victor, were the results of your wits and awareness?
So I forgot to tell you earlier, I had failed the rouse check on the first wits and awareness roll that I made. So I was at hunger 2. I succeeded this time. And then I got a messy crit
Excellent.
and 7 successes.
Messy crit and 7 successes. What are you looking for, Victor? Just clues?
If I can see them, then better, but trying to figure out where the other 2, the actual possible threats, went.
Well, I feel like there's been some confusion in this. One of the threats has been neutralized. It's in your trunk. That is one of the... That he was one of the kindred that you had seen step out. Were 2 ghouls, 2 kindred. Brett Dominguez being one of them. One of the kindred. The other,
Okay.
with your 7 successes, fled. You can see footsteps, quick footsteps, run from the fire, run from the explosion. They entered a fear, a terror frenzy. And they are long gone.
Can I roll a wits and investigation with a specialty in drawing to conclusions to figure out exactly where they went?
By all means. Victor, the result of your messy critical coming soon.
There's no way I could catch up to them with celerity. Oh, my only celerity is rapid reflexes. Never mind.
Ooh. 9 successes with a crit.
Do sushi.
9 successes with a crit. You can track those footprints, Erebus. You can follow. You could hunt if you so choose. Victor? Difficult to say where they went, but Erebus seems to be blocking and sort of casing the scene, watching the rush of footprints, the toss of bits of fragments, tearing of clothing that were likely on fire. You can track them if you so choose.
We should observe Jason. He is about to engage in something sacred. And then I will take you to finish what you set out to do. After all, to the victor go the spoils.
Very punny guy.
I was a father once. You'll forgive my sense of humor.
What do you mean he's about to do something sacred? What's going on? I'm gonna turn back to see because I was so enamored with my searching I wasn't even noticing.
Well, if I have finished feeding, then you will see me placing, well, piercing my own skin, opening the mouth of the Mambaloni, well, the once Mambaloni, to feed them of my blood.
Sacred. Victor.
Oh.
When they rise, they will tell us what they know, and then they will fight this war in your name. Are you not pleased?
Victor, before you answer, the result of your messy critical results in a compulsion, not your planned compulsion, but a random compulsion. This has gone far off the rails. This has gone very differently than what you had hoped. Your compulsion is dominance. Your blood urges you to come out on top, to own and establish dominance. Strives you to excel and to revel in your success. You make your next interaction, which, fortunately, is this one, into a competition, using all means at your disposal to end up victorious, to rub the nose of the loser in their defeat. You will not use teamwork for these roles, perform any actions that avoid establishing dominance or challenging authority at a 2 dice penalty to your pool. This compulsion will end once you've won. And gloated about it.
Jason, stop.
Jason, you stop.
I believe that I'd be stopping in my tracks at hearing that.
Go ahead and drop yourself down to 0 hunger as you have killed this man. The screaming has stopped. As Victor commands you to stop, do so.
Would deprive yourself of another soldier, Victor.
I don't want that soldier.
It's well and good. I've already made one for you.
I want our people to be our own people of our choosing, not of convenience.
That is not the way.
How is it not? We choose who we make and who we take.
We choose nothing. The blood of our father compels us to do what must be done.
And you think he would want us doing this?
You said it yourself. Who better to shepherd them than we, who have some semblance of honor?
I'll pose this question to you, Victor. As an intrusive thought, perhaps. Erebus does speak truthfully. And your compulsion is willing you to be dominant. A mixture of things here. You've been compelled by not your father's blood before, but your mother's. Dominance urges you. Yes, Erebus speaks true. But the Book of Nod, the word of Caine, says to award this gift on the worthy. It is the greatest gift you can give. Is that ghoul worthy?
Absolutely not.
They died a warrior's death.
That is how it should be. They are not worthy to be on our side. We know nothing of them. We know nothing of how they operate. They didn't even get a chance to show us if they even had honor to be one of us. And
Do
you would
not-
turn them willy-nilly like it's nothing.
They are nothing. Empty vessels, waiting to be filled. Speaking of empty vessels, where were the warriors? You went to go get them, didn't you? Where are your allies, Victor? If not inside this room. Told them when to be here. Need more allies, Victor. And whatever they did with whatever scraps of their mortal life, this gives them the chance to be more, to be worthy.
I will not be overruled here, Erebus. You are not of my pack. You can do as you see fit with your new toy. But we do not bestow our gifts on those we have not deemed worthy.
Derek not worthy then.
I hand-selected Derek as my ghoul, and he serves his purpose well in that regard. Should he ever want the gift, then I would give it gladly, but I will not force it on him. It is a gift, and it will be taken as a gift. He has proved and earned that much.
Seems you are in the practice, telling what to do. I acquiesce. However, if you would like to finish the job that you set out to do, you should leave. Every moment we speak, they get steps ahead. And Erebus will pick up the body of the soon-to-be Cainite, sling it over his shoulder.
Victor, do you feel victorious?
Considering that Victor has constantly been at Erebus's, he's kind of been big Erebus's bitch boy, honestly, in the past couple of sessions. Erebus submitting to him, I think, would probably do that. Give him that sense of accomplishment.
Your compulsion ends as Erebus picks up his new child to be. Scene is yours, gentlemen. Jason, you stopped right at the end of your feeding.
Or is Jason like on his knees where you were
Mhm.
feeding on him?
I was on a knee, held up by the other. Yes. I think as I finish and told me to stop, I think there's a moment where I would take a very audible, and I would force myself to actually breathe in just to try and expel my own thoughts for a moment, to reorganize myself. As I'm kneeling over this body and hearing the two of you before you separate, I think I'm just still kneeling here, holding this corpse.
I would offer you a hand to Jason to raise him up.
I lower the body and accept your hand.
Your time will come to be a sire, but I want it to be of the ones you choose, not of a convenience to make soldiers. Because should they perform their tasks, even shovelheads, and I would look at Erebus, would become your childer.
I think I'm just... something came over me there. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but... must be this scene, this war, this battle. It's all just... it's a lot. Thank you, Victor. I may have regretted what I was about to do.
But you didn't. Now let's go finish this.
Yeah. Let's hunt him down.
Erebus, where do you go, your new child?
See, Brett's in the back seat, or Brett's in the trunk. I'll lay him down in the back seat. Are any of the cars missing, or did they hoof it?
Hoofed it.
Should stay here in case the... How did you say it, Victor? Shovelhead wakes up. Or worse, something happens and someone comes for Brett. Or we go home with our spoils and let them spread our names in fear. It is your proclivity, Victor.
I don't want any of them living through this.
Very well. Then what I can do is I can guide you to them. Then I will need to return here. There are certain things that my clan goes through when they awaken. It'll be uncomfortable.
It takes hours for a new Cainite to arise, right?
Putting it lightly, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Torport, that guy's not moving for hours either.
Potentially days, potentially months. Very well. Now let us begin. They move faster than us. Are you sure this is what you want to do, Victor? We could be chasing them into another den without our full strength, without the warriors. Without our priest. Is this what you want?
Let's see where they went first. We're not going to barge in necessarily without knowing where they went. For all we know, they could just be running to run at this point.
What you say? Do my best. Please, try to keep up.
Can we take the car to follow them?
Would be difficult. not impossible. Would you like to?
I would, just in case somebody was to come.
Understood. You may do this.
Oh,
I'm sure the two of you are better at tracking than I am, so I could probably take the car.
kind of want to take every vehicle as we go.
Think you should, at the very least, bring your motorcycle, Mr. BELLSHANE. I would still like that story about your time in the Confederacy. Perhaps I'll tell you who I really work for if you give it to me.
Are you wanting to sit on my motorcycle with me and have a moonlight chat?
Would you like me to whisper sweet nothings in your ear as well? No, I need to be on foot to track them. We can save kissing for the pillows, Mr. BELLSHANE. The Erebus will start to follow their tracks because every moment we sit here talking, they're getting further ahead.
You do this. With this, I'd like to pose a question, not for answering now, but as we begin to close on this session, not quite on this night. Where were the warriors? But where were Monique and Trey? As we come to a close tonight, I'd like to read us a passage from the Book of Nod. And these kindred of Caine learned the ways of making progeny of their own, and they embraced more of Seth's kin, unthinking. And then wise Caine said, "An end to this crime. There shall be no more." And as Caine's word was the law, his brood obeyed him. This is where we'll end tonight's session of Book of Saints. We thank you all for joining us. We thank all of you for playing. We will see you guys all next time. Same time, same place, same Cainites. We'll see you soon.